It's time for another segment of the stupid shit kids do in honor of my father, because he was always involved in some way. So, without further ado, the long-awaited Cannonball Run story. All right, so as I've said in the previous videos, when I was my younger self, I was not as I am now. I, as I've said, was very reckless, as we all were as kids, but I think I was a little extra reckless, if I'm being honest. We all did a bit of partying, which is an understatement. We drank a lot of alcohol and did a lot of crazy shit. So around 1981, I was, I think, 16. A movie came out called The Cannonball Run. It was pretty cool. It involved a lot of fast cars, a lot of excitement, fast cars and craziness. And one of our friends, first of all, I'm going to leave all the names out of this because they will certainly know who they are. But this friend of ours was a few years older than us, and he had his driver's license. None of us had our driver's licenses yet. And we, would hang around with this person because he had a car. And we could go, various places and party and so on. And oftentimes we would go to the drive-in theaters in the area, and one of which in Methuen, Mass, was the most popular. And it was showcasing the Cannonball Run. Now, the friend who had the license was a few years older than us, and he was fucking crazy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He was just a very crazy, intense person who he didn't bullshit. He was an extremely good mechanic and is to this day. He always really impressed me with his ability with mechanics and painting, and he was really a pretty impressive friend, and he still is to this day. So us going to the drive-ins to see this particular movie, he was psyched. So we loaded up his car. He had a 1968 fastback Chevy Impala. It was in really good condition, and he was a mechanic, so he really kept it in great condition. And we had planned on going to the drive-ins to see this movie. Now, we loaded up, in the back of his car, cars back then had the speakers mounted in the back, behind the back seat. Well, he had taken out the speakers. So if anyone was in the back, all I had to do was reach back, and he had a cooler full of beers on one side, and then on the other was the trash can. So whenever we needed cold beers, person in the back just reached out back, divvied out the beers. We were pounding down the beers that night at the theater. Back then, the drive-in thing was pretty awesome. You just drive in, you park your car, put the speaker thing on your car, and watch the movie. We were getting so crazy, stupid crazy drunk watching this movie because it was intense. And the more we drank, the crazier we got. So this person, the driver of the vehicle, was getting really, really fired up. So the movie ended. And he had this look in his eyes, like, I don't know, on a mission. He stopped with a very stoic look on his face. He looked at us all in the back, and he said, listen, we're going to drive to the beach right now. And either one of two things are going to happen. We're either going to get arrested or we're going to die. So if you don't want to be involved in any of that, I suggest you get out of the car right now. So we all looked at each other and went, fuck it, let's go. So here we go. We get on the highway. We start going, and he's like, he puts on the music. I forget what was on the on his. He used an 8-track cassette player back then, but whatever was on, it was intense. And he, as soon as he got on that highway, he started flooring it. Now, we had 2 girls in the back and a guy. I was in the front seat, passenger side. He was driving. And he starts going down the highway as fast as fucking possible. We're getting up to like 100, 110. The girls in the back are freaking out. They're screaming their heads off. Slow down. We're going to get killed. It just got my friend who's driving even more riled up. And we're going like 140 miles an hour down the highway, in and out of traffic, like idiots. And me, now, 16 years old, I have hair literally halfway down my back and down to my shoulders, in the middle of the summer, wearing a knit beanie cap with the hair. And I'm rocking to the music. I'm pounding down the beers, one right after the other. Back then, I could take down a 6-pack in 2 minutes. We were fucking rocking 140 miles an hour down the highway. And the driver didn't know it, but there was a state trooper on the breakdown lane at some point on the highway. And we went right by him, 140 miles an hour. So we keep going. We're flying. We're fucking flying to the beach. And the girls in the back are still freaking out. Me, the kid driving, the other guy in the back, we're fucking rocking, drinking beers. And we didn't know it, but there was about 2 stadies trying to catch us on the highway a couple of miles back. So we go to take the exit, the Salisbury exit, that leads you to the beach. Everyone knows that one. It's right off of 495. You take the exit. You go back. There used to be a McDonald's right off the highway. As we approach the highway, the off-ramp, we can see all flashing lights. And we're like, oh shit, what's going on? Maybe they're doing some road construction. No, there was 6 or 7 state troopers with roadblocks on the exit to stop us. So we're like, oh shit. We pull over. Now we got 2 or 3 stadies behind us, 6 or 7 stadies with the roadblock, and we're just sitting in the car. They're yelling at us, put your hands on the dash. I'm still drinking a beer. And I just finished the beer, put it on the ground, and then put my hands on the dashboard. And along comes the cops with their guns. They literally had their guns out, yelling at us to keep our hands on the dashboard and the steering wheel and whatever. And then they basically make us get out of the car. They put handcuffs on us and put us back in the car while they figure out what they're going to fucking do. I'm in the car contemplating on taking off with the handcuffs behind my back And the kid driving's like, don't fucking do that. Don't be stupid. So they bring us to the Amesbury Police Department to process us. I don't know what, I think they were getting all of us on minor in possession, and the kid, of course, was getting busted for reckless endangerment or whatever. So we had to sit in this police department, Amesbury's police department. We all got to call our parents. And my poor father had to get up late at night and drive all the way to the beach because his son was an idiot again. My poor little Canadian father. One of the girls, her father had to come up and get her and the other girl, and the father was crying. He was upset because his two sons never got in trouble before, and this girl is now getting busted for minor in possession. So the girl's father came up for her and the other girl. The other guy in the back, his father, I think, if I remember correctly, his mother, I think, came up, and my father came up and got me. And they were pissed. They were so pissed off. The driver was not a minor, and I forget how he got out. I think he may have paid his bail to get out. I can't remember. It was so long ago. And we were scheduled to go to Amesbury District Court the next day or a couple of days later. And we, again, here we are at court. This time, though, all the parents came. And I remember vividly sitting in court and seeing my father in the back, shaking his head. You know, in his mind, he's probably going, "Oh, Jitty, you stupid idiot." But no, he never yelled at me. He never said anything. He was pissed. He was definitely pissed off. And what happened, I think, if I remember correctly, they let us speak, or our parents got to speak, and they dropped all the charges, and we had to go home, and it was very uncomfortable at that point. So another example of the stupid, idiotic shit we would do as kids, and our poor parents dealing with us. And in honor of my father, I will say that he did not yell at me, or he certainly didn't try to hit me, because that's not the guy he was. But he was pissed. He was pissed. But he didn't yell at me, and he just kept under control. And there were many other examples after that. As I got older, of course, you know, the car store, the Ford LTD story. So that's another one. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't be stupid. If you have kids who are, you know, young kids, 15, 16, just try to instill in them some responsibility. My father taught me many, many lessons in responsibility and work ethic and so on. But when you're a kid, it just doesn't sink in till it's sometimes too late. So that's that. I gotta go. I'm having my first cheat meal in over a year tonight. I'll let you know how that goes. I'm looking forward to it, actually. All right? Gotta go. Have a great weekend. Don't do anything fucking stupid.